It's a great day here at Curacao. Hello Collections, I'm Jordan and welcome to our Hug the Customer meeting for February 2021. Today we have some great stories to share that went above and beyond our expectations. With that in mind, it's critical that we keep our ears attuned to customers' needs and issues so that we can take ownership and find the best way to resolve an issue. Remember, part of hugging the customer is to avoid customer friction and show an unforgettable customer experience, which is at the heart of the Hug the Customer philosophy. So, how do you follow the Hug the Customer philosophy? Well, we follow the pure principle. Let's review. P is for being personable. If a customer tells you about a hardship or about an error on Curaçao's behalf, or even a bad experience with Curaçao, it's your job to take ownership and listen to the customer's situation and take important notes. U stands for being understanding of the customer's situation. Remember, if the customer is upset, there must be a good reason for it. Let your customers know they're being heard. R, respect the customer at all times. Again, respect the customer at all times. I know you like being respected as a customer, so you should do the same. It's karma. And E, express your sincerest apologies if something went wrong, but commit to fulfilling our promises of an unforgettable experience and correct the issue. If the customer is going through a hardship, reassure the customer that we will find a solution to the problem. So, today's stories reflect some or all of these principles that were selected by your managers, so we can share them with you today. So, are you ready to hear some great stories? Great. But first, let me remind you that the top 3 stories were selected for the month of February. First place will get $75, second place will get $50, and third place will get $25. So, let's begin. Starting in third place, the story goes, the associate contacted the customer on an outbound call. The customer brings to the associate's attention that in early January 2021, the customer paid $201.06 to his account. On February 3rd, almost a month later, the customer called back to see if the payment had posted, only to find that it wasn't, and was even asked why he was being charged the amount still. He was asked to visit his nearest store to provide proof for his payment. First of all, it isn't necessary to send a customer to the store. If the customer has an email on the smartphone, he can send a copy via email and send it to the supervisor's email address. Proof of thought. Anyway, the customer arrived at the Linwood store. The customer found the manager, and the manager told the customer that the account would be followed up on within the next 24 hours. As of February 8th, the customer still hadn't received any notification. By then, the customer sees his account becoming late with charges and fees being added. On the same day, the customer calls back asking what is going on with his account. By this point, he speaks with our third place winner. Our associate takes down all the information since the day the customer made the payment and reassures the customer that he would receive a call back in a timely manner. The associate reached out to his supervisor. His supervisor supported him by relaying the issue to the cash management compliance manager and with the payment processing supervisor to help find the payment. By February 15th, the payment was found and posted into the account. It seems that the payment simply hadn't yet been reconciled between the bank and the merchant, the bank being the customer's bank and merchant being Curaçao. Once the account was posted, all fees and charges were reversed since the payment was supposed to leave the account at zero balance. The associate called the customer back and let him know finally that the payment was found and that the account was up to date and at zero balance, and apologized for the inconvenience and concern his missing payment had caused. The customer was relieved and pleased to know that everything was resolved and thanked our associate for his prompt response. You know, handling other people's money is a serious thing. And when a customer says a payment was made but isn't posted, the customer can begin to think the worst. And ultimately, that looks bad on us. So, this third place is to acknowledge the associate's sense of urgency and for taking ownership on seeking the support needed to resolve the matter, and getting back to the customer with an answer in a timely manner to ensure the customer's payment was found and accounted for. So this third place goes to Jose Jonathan Valenzuela Ruiz from 10 Days. Thank you, Jose, for your prompt response. Keep up the good work. Awesome. And now for second place. The story, according to the associate, I helped the customer fill out a form with CCS, and I also helped the customer register a profile on my account. The customer called to make a payment for a CCS fee and wanted to know how to do it online because he tried once at the store and didn't know that there was an online option, which also meant he never created a profile on my account before, and asked if I could help him so he can make his payments online moving forward. The customer originally wanted to pay so he could submit a petition for assistance with CCS, but didn't know how and asked the associate for help. The associate started by requesting a supervisor to send an affidavit. Then, upon receiving the affidavit, the customer asked the associate if he could help him fill it out. The associate then kindly took the time to show him how to register his profile, guiding the customer step by step from entering the customer's personal information and preferences to making the payment online and finally filling out the form via CCS. The customer was grateful to the associate for teaching him how to do something new and using a self-service tool. This story speaks highly on being personable with the customer and going above and beyond their normal duties to assist a customer and help a customer to be self-sufficient. This is a great example for hugging the customer. Even though this seems like a short story, the customer asked the associate if he could help him with that. Normally, you would hear an associate say, go online and they do it themselves. But many of our customers just simply aren't tech savvy. So when they ask for help like that, it's on us to be able to extend our hand and lend them that assistance. So again, this is a great example for hugging the customer. So this recognition for second place goes to Alfredo Laguna from 10 Days. Thank you for taking the opportunity, Alfredo, to teach our customers something very valuable. Good job, great work. And now for first place. The associate said, I received an inbound call from a customer called Alfred Nichols on February 15th saying that for several months now, he was being added late fees to the account without knowing and didn't understand why that was happening, since he set up his account with autopay. I sensed that the customer was very upset and bothered by what had happened. The first thing I did was review his last contract on April 13, 2020. The contract stated that his monthly payments were for $84.55 starting on May 6 for 25 months, in addition to CCS fees of $16.95 to be paid on the same date. This came to a total of $101.50. When I calculated this, I realized the error. When the customer set up autopay, he set up to pay $100 even recurrently in January 2020. At the time of his next purchase in April, this should have been updated to match the new monthly payment, and throughout all this time, payments were made incomplete and eventually began incurring late fees. In my opinion, the root cause was either the system should have detected the new purchase so it would notify the customer to make new recurrent payments, or for us to notify him somehow so that he can make the update. I felt this was unfair and did not believe that the customer should have paid all those fees when he was making payments recurrently, just not in the right amount. To fix this, I apologized to the customer for the error, and I asked him to give me a moment to discuss the matter with my supervisor. My supervisor agreed with my findings and escalated the account to the second level ticketing so that special handling could help us to authorize removing the late fees. I first got the customer to agree to pay the past due amount, which was $311.95. Then, with the assistance of the special handling team, submitted a request to credit the late fees that were generated because of the error, and requested to fix the overlay in the account to update his credit report as current. What I appreciate in the story is that the customer took the time necessary to find out, the collector took the time necessary to find out what the issue was. First, he acknowledged the customer feeling irritated by what was happening, and then took the time to understand what was causing the account to be late. Our associate did well in finding the patterns in the payment history to find that the customer had set up autopay, but no change was made when the purchase took place in the middle of the recurring payments. Once he double-checked the math, he figured the problem out. On one hand, he could have left the blame on the customer for not realizing that his monthly payments would be a different amount. But the customer was told at the store that everything would be taken care of, and the customer trusted Curaçao in that. Being fair, he felt that it would be wrong to charge all those late fees when all the customer had done was cooperate based on what he was told. Our associate made the right judgment call to ask to credit the late fees as customer relations, since Curaçao could have done a better job at either explaining things during the purchase or to improve our system to detect any changes in the customer's history and send notifications so a customer could visit the payment portal to see if any changes needed to be made. Our associate put the customer first and took his feelings seriously and sought to make things fair for the customer. So, first place goes to Gerardo Gonzalez from 10 Days. Good job. Great story, Gerardo. Congratulations. So that's it for our stories for today. But keep bringing in stories, and I have a new rule for this month to announce to you. Every associate must, I repeat, must submit a story by the end of the month. Supervisors, you're responsible for making sure this gets done. When you write your story, remember to make it compelling, dramatic, and that it follows the pure principles: being personable, being understanding, respecting the customer, and expressing our feelings. It doesn't have to be long. Just write what you did and what part of that story gives it that special touch of hugging the customer. Supervisors, you must coordinate so that your associates have enough time to write your stories. You'll be sent a reminder. If you need support, let me know on Teams on the Hug the Customer channel and we can discuss it. So, thanks for watching. I hope you found those stories interesting. Let's see who has our next winning story to share. Remember to leave a comment on our Hug the Customer channel. We look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now.